Hello, I'm Dennis and welcome to my video. Some of you may have seen the first video that I did when I had my bike delivered, the Kawasaki Z1000. This is just a bit of an update really. The bike's done just over 1900 miles now, so I thought I'd just go through some of the pros and cons and try and get a bit of feedback, see what other SX owners out there think. Right, here we go. I hope you can hear me okay, because I put my crash helmet on, so I know that my camera's pointing in the right direction. Pros and cons, not a lot of cons really. First thing was the seat, which you can see I've changed. I've now put a Sergeant custom made seat on there, which is fantastic. But I did find the original seat, I don't know whether it was hard or not, but it had these ridges where the foam was shaped. It had like two ridges, and after about 60 miles it used to kind of cut into your backside, and it got pretty uncomfortable. A fortnight ago I went down to Cornwall on the bike, and after 60 miles my backside was getting pretty numb, so not really that good on a tourer, I don't think. I think Kawasaki could have put a better seat on there. I know there's a gel seat available, but I thought they could have put a decent seat on there from the get-go. Other than the grumble about the seat, there's not a lot else really that I could grumble about. Maybe a little bit of straight line stability, instability over ridges and white lines. The bike seems to want to go one way or the other. Sometimes you get the feeling that the front's going one way and the back wants to go the other. I don't know whether other SX owners have found this. I found that it's quite sensitive to tyre pressures. You have to keep the tyre pressures bang on, so it could be tyre pressure stroke tyre thing. Maybe when it's due for new boots I'll go for a different tyre, maybe a Pirelli or a Michelin, maybe something with a little bit flatter profile, and see if that helps. I'd be quite interested to hear from other owners if they've got round this problem without spending thousands of pounds on the suspension, because I don't really think it's a suspension issue. I think it's more down to tyres. Other than that, all good really. The headlights weren't too good. I've actually done a LED conversion on the headlights, which is massive improvement. In actual fact, I shall demonstrate that to you now. Let's put the ignition on. You know, it always amazes me. My first road legal bike that I had back in 1974, a little SS50, used to turn the ignition on and all you ever got was a neutral light, whereas now modern bikes, you turn the ignition on and it's like a disco, everything dancing around. But anyway, as you can see, we've got LED. They're just LED 50 watt LED side light bulbs, which are nice and white, give a nice light. And if I fire up, you'll see LED dip beam, and it gives, I hope the camera's picking that up okay. It's burning my retinas, so it must be picking it up, but that's your, well, I can only see black and white now. That's the LED dip, and then full beam. Can't see the switch. Full beam. But riding at night time, it's especially with the full beam on there, it's like riding in daylight. They really are a massive improvement. They say it's not just an LED bulb. It's let me switch that off so you can hear me. It's a proper full LED conversion. The bulbs like a stick, and you've got two. You can't really see because you've got that little reflector in the centre there, but there's two Cree LED little diodes on the bulb, the back of the bulb, you've got, I don't know whether the camera's picking it up, but you've got these metal ribbons and they dissipate the heat from the bulb. I know the first generation of LED bulbs had these fans on the back. Well, you can't get them in. It's a waste of time trying to fit those. But with these, they're fantastic. Easy fit. They say then you've got these ribbons that take the heat away from the body of the bulb. That comes out off the back of the bulb. That's the actual body itself there, and that just dissipates the heat away, and they work. And I'll show you. And then you've just like got a, I suppose it's like a ballast resistor, like a little pack that I just slotted in down the side of the fairing there. You can't really see it, it's all tucked away out of sight. So it's very neat, very easy to fit. 40 quid on eBay. Well worth it. Well worth it. You say you've got excellent night vision, and riding during the day, it gets you noticed. People see you. Everything else with the bike, handles great. Love the suspension. Panniers, which I got, that they came with the bike. I did a week in Cornwall and the panniers were fantastic. Come touring on the bike, journey of 300 miles from Leicester down to Penzance in Cornwall, just outside Penzance. I used the inner bags, got all my clothes in, still got half the pannier space, which I could fill up with other bits and pieces. I did put a tail pack on for my trip. Obviously I took my seat cowl off and put the rear seat back on so this didn't get marked up. Put a tail pack on for my extra bits and pieces, and yeah, fantastic. What else can we talk about? I say I'd enjoy it if people, you know, sort of, you're welcome to you know, leave comments and that, you know. I'd be interested to see what other people's findings are, you know, good points, bad points and that. Traction control, it's got a bit of stick, I think. Sorry, not traction control. The power mode, you've got your low power and high power. A lot of road testers, oh, we can't see any difference, but the thing is, I think if you jump on the bike, go down the road and just flick between low and full power, I don't think you're all going to feel any difference. I rode the bike for about the first 700 miles with it in low power. I didn't see the point of putting it in full power because you can't rev the bike anyway, and you know, it was more than enough power, and you know, I was quite happy with it. Then after about 700 miles, it had had its first service, got a few more miles on there. I was in Cornwall and I thought I'll switch it to the full power, and the first thing I noticed, it felt more buzzy. There seemed to be more vibration, but I don't think it's just a case of it limits the power. I think it changes the whole ignition curve, because full power mode, more vibey. I think it had a bit less grunt low down, but a lot more power high up, sort of 7,000 RPM. It really pulling, really taking off. Whereas in the low power mode, at the same RPM at 7,000, it seems to be running out of puff, but it had a lot more pull low down. You know, it's sort of, you can see what Kawasaki were doing. I think low power mode, traction control on 3, you know, wet roads, it met the bike nice and safe. Brakes, fantastic. Really happy with the brakes. I think they're the best brakes I've had on any bike, period. Rear brake was pretty naff when I first got the bike, very ineffective, but I stuck with it. I didn't give it too much, you know, stick on the lever. I couldn't see the point. I just was gentle with it and let it bed in, and it's brilliant now. In traffic, I find all I need is the back brake. I think that's about it. You can say I've changed the screen. I put a Pug screen on because I wasn't particularly keen on the shape of the standard screen. I didn't like the great big cutaways. This is great. really happy with this. I just leave it in the highest position all the time, and it's been fantastic. Going down to Cornwall, ran through some torrential rain. It was like, oh, you couldn't see the roads, it was like riding on a river. And the screen was great, it was really good. The only thing I would say is the water channels up the inside of the screen, because you've got this like a gap here. The water comes up the fairing, gets up, runs up onto the inside of the screen, and then covers your clocks. And you get to the point where I was struggling to see my clocks, but hey ho, I mean, that's a minor thing. I suppose it would have done that with the standard screen on, because you're still going to have this gap. What else have I done? Rear seat cowl, we've touched on that. I've put, I don't know whether you can see, I'll try and get down. Fender extender, or mudguard as we call them here in the good old UK, and I've also put a radiator cover on there, nice stainless steel one, just to try and reduce the damage that the radiator seems to pick up from bits of flying grit like that. That's it. But say, any questions, especially on the headlights, on the LED conversion, if people have got any queries on that, then, you know, message me, and I will try to help. But other than that, I think we've touched on everything. Exhaust, a lot of people change your silencers. That is something I'll touch on actually. So I've just thought about something I had when I first had the bike. I had a real problem. I put the bobbins on for the paddock stand, and they were catching the exhaust. So I took the backer off that had that big plastic top hat thing to protect your swing arm from your paddock stand. I took them off, so they now miss the exhaust. But then I found that the paddock stand was hitting the cans, and it was just so frustrating. I've got a stand for the front of the bike, I've got the 27mm adapter for the yoke, and when I tried to put it on the stand was hitting the fairing under here, so I was quite frustrated. Anyway, I trolled the internet and I bought a constand, which is German. If you just Google constand, the website should come up, and I bought a paddock stand for the rear from them. Absolutely fantastic, no problem at all, loads of clearance, doesn't go anywhere near the exhaust. So I was that pleased with it. I bought one for the front as well, and it came with a variety of adapters, including the 27mm one, which you need. Brilliant, works a treat, nowhere near any of the plastics, really good. So if you're struggling like I did with your paddock stands, then Constands, I think it's constands.de, because it's German, but fantastic, reasonably priced, and very good. Right, that's it. If I think of anything else, I'll add it. I might put a hugger on, that's something else. Power Bronze do a nice hugger with the silver mesh, so that's the next thing that I might do, because I just think that they look nice, probably give you a little bit more protection than the standard guard. But right, as I say, any comments, I'll be glad to hear from you. You know, interesting, just throwing a few ideas in the air and talking about other people's experiences. Oh, the other thing, I keep finding things to talk about. The adapter for my sat nav, that's just wired straight into the battery, and that's I love that. I love having my sat nav on there. Digital gear indicator, I fitted that just plugs straight into the diagnostic socket under the seat, nice and easy to fit. And the wiring, I just traced all the wiring back with the wiring loom, so it's all nice and tidy. Right, I think that's it. I shall shut up, stop waffling, and I shall speak to you soon. Bye.